Gorgeous day. You can't ask for anything nicer. Some clouds in the sky. The sky is so blue. Oh my goodness. Today I just want to show you what I've done on the deck. Nothing new. We're not going to look at this because it's a total mess. I haven't even cleaned. All I do is plant and move and plant and move. You know, I will show you this. Gary found these in the trash and he put them in his junk pile in his garden, and they were there for the longest time. There's another one over here, and I left one there. And what I had was this wood, and it does warp, and the birds have been coming in. I really did not want to start feeding birds on the deck. You know that. We've been through that. But here's the thing. We have been getting a lot of unusual birds here. Birds that have not gone to the bird garden, which is right over there. So I decided I'm going to designate one area to feed birds. So yesterday, because we just did this now, this rack. What's he got to say? Oh, he's under the tree. Oh, no, there he is. So yesterday I told Gary I'm thinking of taking a baker's rack, and I'm going to put a baker's rack here so it's easy to clean. I can lift all this up. This is just a mat, and it will be nice and straight because the wood, it does warp. See how it warps? Now, normally it's not that bad if it warps, but I've got my water fountains going and they do kind of warp, and this won't warp. So he says to me, you don't need a baker's rack, because I had two of them. And I thought, all right, well, I don't use two at the same time. I've got these brackets, these shelving brackets, he said I found, or racks, in the trash. So he just brought them up, and I looked at them. I thought, oh my goodness. So I'm going to put one there. I'll leave that one. It's not warped. I might put one over here because I set up a fountain. And I want to pull this one down because I'm changing the fountains. And actually, this one's not warped. So maybe I'll leave this one. Okay, never mind. None of these are warped here. So we're good to go. So I'll have them when I need them if they start to warp. But I really like that. I could let all the seeds just fall down and the chickens will eat it. But the birds do kick things around. So for now, I'm going to leave it. So that's what I'm doing here. And then let's walk over here because I really didn't want to do it on that. What I wanted to show you is, you know how I plant in totes. Now this is a smaller tote. It's not quite 18 gallons. I think this one's only 10. And this is doing fantastic. You can grow zucchini, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant in any size tote. I like the 18 gallon, but I'm keeping the tote small for the deck. I'm going into just a different style, and then keep the bigger totes. But of course you can put 18-gallon totes on the deck. I love the dish pans. That's what I really want to concentrate on the deck. They're portable. Here I've got peppers growing. Here I've got cilantro. Look how beautiful. And that's layered. So I've got the cilantro in here. I've got lettuce here. This is chia seed. But you can grow so much more. I might change it out for tomatoes. Again, chia seed, marigolds, onions, lettuce, just different things. This is sedum growing down there. This is garlic chives, I guess, coming up. So this is really good. Let me walk over here with you. Because if you have a small garden, you're a beginner gardener, you don't want to start with raised beds because they're so expensive to fill. And let me tell you something, they are. This is the cheapest way to go. Squash, some of your peppers, not all, eggplant, some of your tomatoes, and what I'm going to say are not permanent plants. These are really short-lived plants. I just planted this morning. In other words, you're only going to have them, right, Zoe, for one season. In other words, spring, summer, and into fall, and then they're done. They're not going to be there next year. This is perfect because everything in here, you know, all your soil and everything can be easily lifted, dumped out, changed for later. These are the best things to grow in. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I buy a lot of them. I must have bought 50 of them. And they're less than $5, and I've never, ever had one break. I put in the irrigation tubing in there. See here how I strap it in. I've got all kinds of videos. We're not going to get into that right now. But you can do so many things with it. And with that, I can put in a tomato stake or a skewer or something if I wanted to rig tulle around it. But these are the easiest things to start with. This is just on a table that Gary found on the, in the trash. And you can set them up anywhere on a balcony. You can set them up in your garden. I've got these in the garden. They're growing potato mint, regular mint, onions I've grown, lettuce, bok choy. I've done zucchini before, and you'll get the full-size torpedo zucchini in there. And they're just fantastic. Now, what's in here is soil that I got out of another tote. I'll show you that in a minute. And then I did plant the zucchini here in a little pile of potting mix. So I made a hole, put some potting mix in there just because that's what it came out of since I bought this. I didn't grow this from seed, and I put it in here. Now, why did I take the leaf off and stick it there? In case there's any roly-polies or something there, hopefully they'll go underneath there and they'll munch on that. Because a lot of your insects, what they're looking for is something they can reach easy, and even something that's decaying. If they can't find decaying leaves, like let's say this lettuce is starting to go, then they'll crawl up and they'll get your plant. But if you leave them stuff, kind of push it in where they can get around it, they'll go for that first. Now here is my lettuce I've been showing you, and I cover it with tulle. I love it. Let me tell you, the tulle, I put the link underneath my description. It's not those little pictures. That's something from YouTube. You go in the description, underneath the title, you tap on that. Sometimes it won't show up, so you'll see the word more. It depends on if you're on a phone, a tablet, a computer, or whatever. Can't see it on the TV, I don't believe at all. And then once you tap more, you'll see the links, and you go check it out on eBay. They're about, I think they're about $12 now for a bolt, but it's 40 yards. If you went to a fabric store, they could be $2 and $3 a yard. You can't beat it. You get 40 yards, 54 inches wide. So I had a top on here, but I started looking because these aren't covered now. I was getting a little more whitefly, no aphis, by having them covered, because I would walk away, I'd come back, some whitefly would land on it, and then it would sit there and I'd go hose it off. But by keeping them uncovered, I think the birds come and pick a lot of the little whitefly off, plus you can just hose it into the soil, which I do. And I want you to know that with a lot of plants, if your plants are healthy, I have noticed, and I've known this for years, they don't get bugs. I don't know why. It's kind of like some people get sick all the time. Their immune system's not that great. If your plant's got a good immune system, let's call it that, they tend to kind of shut off the bugs. The bugs don't come to it. And that's what you want. You want strong, healthy plants. So I'm letting this go to seed because I want to collect my own lettuce seed. So this one is starting to go to seed. This one, not quite yet. This one is. And I'm going to encourage it to do that because all I have to do is collect the seed and just keep the cycle going. I haven't bought lettuce seeds in 10 years. Not romaine lettuce. Let's say 9 years, 10 years. Because once I bought it, I started collecting my own. The cycle of life continues every single year. So what I'm doing here is, see this? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, remember, this tote doesn't have holes. So I've got to go get my flash fish out and make some holes. This one's got a hole. Just one hole. That's good enough. But I do need to make a hole in here. But the thing is, with this is creating shade for the new plants that I just planted today, because it's going to be in the mid to upper 70s, and it still could be too warm because they were really crammed in a little pot, and I had to break it apart. And once you transplant something, it disturbs the roots anyways, and they have to regain water sucking roots and feeding roots. So for the first few days, you want to make sure any plant is well watered. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing you can do for yourself is keep a watering can there. And for a few days, make sure you water it real good. And by putting the pot here, this is a layering system. I can move this at any time, but it will keep water there. And so the water will kind of get through there, and the plant will feed off of that as well. These will all be moved later. This is just nothing plants, just some walking onions, some lettuce. This is chia seed. But it's to create layers, and it keeps the soil damp. Can you mulch it? Sure, I can put some wood chips or leaves or whatever I wanted. But by doing it this way, I'm basically mulching around the plant by using pots. And then the fake flowers will create, there's no sun right now, see it keeps changing. But when the sun comes through, it will create shade on the leaves. and it will really help the plants grow, especially in the beginning when it's gaining new roots. And that's what it's going to do, because it literally was planted a few hours ago. And again, keep that in mind. I deal with living soil, obviously too living. Look at all the stuff growing. It looks like it's probably celery growing in there. And all I do is pull it out and drop it back. If I look at a leaf and think, I'm not going to eat that, though I probably will. If there's any leaves I won't eat, I just drop it back. See? And it will decay into the ground and then into the soil here. It feeds the plant. And this is what you want to do. Living soil, plants do really well. Bag soil is great for, like I said, you're planting a new plant. You want to have some potting soil in there because that's what the plants grew in at the nursery. Put a handful or two in there. You don't have to do the whole thing, or you can mix a little in there. But this is old used soil. We can look and see where I get the soil from. You don't look, this is a mess because I'm just trying to get things planted like this zucchini. Look at this. Is that not gorgeous? It's already growing. I planted this one a week ago. See how they're so tight? Look at the difference. Oh, wow. So you probably saw the video when I bought this, and this was a 4-pack and each one had 2. Look how big the plant got since I transplanted it. I transplanted it a couple days after that video came out, and look how big this plant is. And again, let's not lose our zucchini. Look at, I've got a plastic plant here. I've got marigolds growing. I've got some zinnias coming up. But see, it's layered. This does help the plant because it keeps things, okay, I'm not going to pull it out, but it keeps, let's say, worms will go underneath pots, and see how I keep old leaves there? Again, if there's any roly-polies in there, I don't see any, even slugs. If you don't see the slugs, they'll kind of go in there and they'll eat, and it works fantastic. I haven't done anything in here yet. I got to get my cauliflower out, and I'll pull this out. See, hold on, let me get you in there. Can you see the earthworms? See, they love, earthworms love going underneath. Look at that. They go under pots. You want to look for earthworms, go take a pot and go ahead and drop it on the ground somewhere and water the pot, and then you can go back and you'll find earthworms. And if you don't see them, it doesn't matter. Take a couple shovels because sometimes they come to the surface, lay eggs, and then you'll have the eggs. But I was going to show you, okay, so you saw this. Let's keep this out of the sun because that is so root bound. And the same thing with this we bought. Oh my gosh, this is root bound. My shovel, I love these shovels. You know, I wasn't even going to bring this up. You can get these from Walmart. I'll try to tag them. 98 cents. They don't break. You drop them, you leave them out in the sun. These are the greatest shovels. And the only reason I have to keep buying them is they're black. Yes, I painted one red somewhere. There it is, it's painted red. And I lay them out in the garden and I can't remember where I put them. But this one's a scoop. And this is good for anything, digging out of another tote or container. And then they have a shovel, and then they got a trowel. I think I've got one trowel. I don't really use it. But see here? It does help when you lay it down and go, oh yeah, there it is. What do you, oh, that's a lizard. You cannot have the lizard. No lizards. Only squirrels, no lizards. But there is where I started going down. Those are the totes that I took off the deck a couple years ago now. And I thought, where am I going to get the soil from? I thought, stupid me. It's all down there. All my great soil I grew in. So I've been going down there, getting the soil and bringing it up. Just go down the stairs. And I've been putting that in the different containers around here. So that's the only thing I wanted to show you today. Couple tips. Layer your plants. I know some of you are not growing yet, but when you do grow, whether it's in a tote, a bucket, a raised bed, try some layering methods, especially early on. I had another pot here while this was growing, and I just moved it. It's one of those pots I put in the black dish pan over there. But it is fantastic. It really helps the plant grow. That's a big thing. And then the other thing is invest in some cheap watering cans. And if you don't want to do watering cans, use milk containers or old food containers. Keep water in them. Fill it up and keep it near the plants that need a lot of water. because you'll walk out there and think, oh, this needs water. I'll come back and water it later. Uh-oh, later comes along, it's been too late, or the plant droops. And young plants don't do well when you first plant them. If they dry out, you can lose them that way. So if you have a watering can, all you have to do is pick it up and just have it there on hand, and you won't forget. So when you're walking through, you don't have to get a hose or look for a watering can. I have been investing in a lot of watering cans. Got these from Walmart. Got these, I think, from Dollar Tree or a dollar store. Invest in some watering cans. And like I said, if not, go to a dollar store and pick up something. Use old food containers. Oh, it is getting really... Leave the lizard alone, Zoe. She can't catch it anyways. I just want her to learn, not lizards. But invest in taking the time to do that, and you will save really a lot of grief when the plant dies and you don't know why. Look at this. I want you to see. Hold on. I just love this. The thing is, we have so many birds coming here. Even the bandtails have been coming here, band-tailed pigeons. Joncos, house finches, the English sparrow, what do you call them? The house sparrows. We've got, of course, two different types of orioles. What was here on the deck yesterday were grosbeaks, flycatchers, different warblers. They come to the deck for different things. Now, the warblers come here to look for insects, but these are seed eaters. And of course, the orioles that you can see over there, they come for the nectar, and that's what they're doing. But these house finches, it's just such a joy to watch them. I just love it, but I'm kind of training them where the food is, because I'm not thrilled when all the doves come, but they're learning. The food is there, and like we just put that rack on, I thought it might take them a few hours to figure out, oh, that's safe. They don't care. They recognize the bowl. They're always the first ones there. So everything's worked out really good. But we'll get into the peppers. I'm planting a ton of peppers, and everything is going great, but I am really pleased with the deck. I just wanted to get some pointers out. If you're a beginner gardener and you're trying to keep the money and the cost down, really get yourself some of those dish pans. Start with a couple of them. They're so cheap. They'll last for 10, 20 years, probably as long as you garden. And then you can grow anything you want. I don't think there's anything you can't grow in there. You could probably grow corn, but and then you'd have to be feeding it all the time, which would mean crushing leaves and other plants and compost tea. I've never done corn in there, but really almost anything else in there. I mean, I've even done potatoes in there. I've done garlic and just everything. Mint, I love those things. You can put so many out. And the other thing I always talk about, each one of those is its own room. The plants have their own vessel to grow in. When you have a large raised bed and you invest in that, the moment you set that up, it is one room. It is one shared room. It's not a condo. Like you can set them all up and have a whole bunch, and that's like condos with their own rooms. But when you have one raised bed, it is one room. You got a celery in there. That celery is going to go way to the other side. I don't care if it's 6 foot wide, and they will steal nutrients from your other plants in there. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to go back, get some more things done. I want to get this basil split off, see what I can do with this. I hope I don't have to leave it in a clump. You know what? All I have to do is pinch it off. This is a good time to do it. I think I will. We'll get the flowers off, pinch it off, and root it. Just a little water, or plant it right away in some soil and water. We'll see. I'll see what I'm going to do. So with that, have a wonderful day. Think about how you want to garden, because I know it's coming up for you. And if you don't know what to do and you don't have a plan, try the Sterilite dish pans. I have never had anything fail out of that. It's been the greatest thing. Easy to maneuver, around the property. Easy to look how I've put the tomato stakes in there with the irrigation tubing, and you can just do it and dress it up any way you want, and it costs literally pennies. There's no reason to put out hundreds of dollars on gardening, because if you have to do that, I know a lot of you won't garden. And if I had to do that, well, nobody's going to tell me I have to do that. But if I had to do it, I wouldn't garden either. There's no reason. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Oh my gosh, I really wish that I could grow sugar, but I would never be able to grow enough. I had to order 75 pounds yesterday. I put it on reorder weekly. We'll see how that goes. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm bringing out my flash fish power station unit, turning it on, and I'm gonna get my soldering iron plugged into this. Oh, power at my hands, my fingertips, anywhere that I want. Okay, now we just have to wait till it heats up. Usually only takes a couple minutes. Maybe not there. I usually bring a plate with me. I'll sit it over the edge. Okay, I see smoke. So let's go ahead and make a hole. There it is. It's all hot, and because we want to have drainage and oh, you know, I guess it did need drainage. Don't tell anybody. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I grabbed that flower pot just now. Well, the flower pot, that plant, is going to get some nice water. Oh, it's live soil, so it's going to get a lot of plant food in there too. Let's get the rest of the holes in there. Don't tell anybody I did this, please, because all plants need drainage. You know what I did last year? I grew an entire tote and found out later on I never made holes and everything grew good. Oh my goodness. All right, well, it's done. Let's get this in the house, ready for another day.